All right, Rosie, we're live. We're 7 seconds in. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm
Good.
gonna miss Bree today. She was not feeling well, so today we are gonna be you and I.
All right, that's awesome. Well, we got a lot to cover, and I'm really excited to be here. Guys, we're going to talk about what's going on in the industry, what's going on in real estate in general. And then Rosie's going to give us some feedback on what she's noticing in the field. Uh, because I think having both of those things is super important. Having the news is important, but then having a firsthand uh, account for what's happening is really the way to go about it. What would you say about that, Rosie? You agree?
100%. And I think you and I were prepping for the call today. And one of the things that I think is very important for our audience to understand is that we're bringing weekly news for real estate, right? Most of the times you're looking at a quarterly update, an annual update, a semi annual update, and it's so much information to absorb. So our goal is to chunk it down for you and make it in easy, digestible, understandable, and applicable form so you can stay relevant in real estate. So, Roger, we get started.
Absolutely. Great point, Rosie, because, everywhere else that you look, whether it's the Dallas Fed or you go to Texas A&M Real Estate Research Center, and all of that news is quarterly or even semi-annually. Like there's hardly any updates. I'm looking at
Yeah.
stuff that they posted from a few months ago. And so we're going to jump in, and we just want everybody to remember to keep a healthy perspective around the news that we're giving. Uh,
Mhm.
Sometimes there's good news and sometimes there's bad news, right? And it's just how you look at it. So I had a friend of mine mention, he says, anytime people are talking about flipping homes and they're talking about how great the market is and the average Joe is buying a property and flipping it, he goes, that's a good time to be really conservative and kind of maybe take a step back. And
Yep.
whenever you hear about businesses closing down, people foreclosing, things not, looking too peachy, then that's really the time that you want to move in. So if you would, I would just ask our viewers to keep that healthy mindset and keep that perspective when looking at this data.
You know, a lot of people, actually, I have to rephrase myself. Almost 12 years ago, when I got into real estate investing, the very first thing I remember hearing from Warren Buffett, who is known to be a great investor, has proven track record and an inspiration to many investors in the world. He said, when the tide goes down, that's when we know who's swimming naked,
Right.
right? And I didn't understand what it meant. And I remember reaching out to people who have been in business for decades and say, what does it mean? Like, what does that real estate look like when nobody is when the market goes down? Like, what does it look like for people? And I remember everybody would tell me, they said, anybody can make money when the real estate market is good because it requires very little skill to bring an opportunity and then monetize on it because market is pushing it for us.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where a reality check hits and a lot of people leave the market. And you and I have seen examples after examples after examples where people bought properties and just because market was doing well, their projects made money. So it was not necessarily that people were great investors. It's just that they were just playing the game of real estate and naturally they were making money. But when the market hit low overnight in a quarter in 2022, I remember the calls I got. Like 2022 was like the sleepless nights year where either you're helping someone get out of trouble underwater or figuring out a solution how you can help them sustain or hold on to the property long enough.
Yeah, that's about when we started seeing interest rates going up. And so
Yeah.
that's a good observation. So I'm going to jump into the news now, Rosie. And so I have a website that I visit quite frequently, and uh, it talks about the best cities. That's
Yeah.
what they do. It's called the Milken Institute. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what they have to say about Austin, and because I know there's a lot of stuff in the news, but if we can just go directly to the source, right? So this talks about job growth between 2017 and 2022. This is job growth between 21 and 22, and this is short-term job growth, right? So I really was
Can
focusing
you
on
accept the cookies real quick, please? Click
what's
accept all
oh,
on the
oh,
cookies.
okay. I didn't even notice that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, look, Austin is right over here at 8.7%.
Yeah.
So I guess I clicked on it and okay, cool. So 8.7% job growth between 21, 22. We got 22% job growth between 2017 and 2022. That's a really high number. And as I scroll down, there's
There's
going to be very many places that have that, right?
yeah, like not in Texas.
Yeah, not in Texas, probably not. I think Boise was the only one that we saw up there, and if they've had big swings in population, then maybe that's why. But here we have Idaho Falls, Boise, Idaho Falls. So
Yeah, nowhere else I'm seeing 22%.
we're doing great, and then still 22% was the highest so far. And even now, when we look at it, it's look at this. This is Midland, Odessa. So this is still Texas,
Wow.
right? 9.3%. And I believe Midland, Odessa is right now rocking it. Like I didn't see anybody having more jobs. So we have oil jobs going back up. And this is the Village, Florida. I don't know how small that is. So if their jobs went up, it's a small town and a few businesses open. So I don't think at scale, you got to keep a healthy perspective on the size of the town. So number one is top ranked, this blue color. Red is secondary, and you get the point. Green is third and fourth, right? So as I'm going to scroll down here, we're going to go into the Austin market, and this blue spot here is Austin, right? So that's a primary, that's a number one market. But as you look to the north of us, it's not as much. So, and also, I don't think even in Dallas, they're not, well, this is a top tier market too. I think this is a number one top ranked market, but I was surprised that Houston didn't make it. So this is a third level market, as far as
Job growth, yeah. Yeah,
from,
so you see Austin and Dallas are running the economy for the Texas right now.
yeah, really, these are the only two blue spots here. And then this is San Antonio, a second tier market.
Yeah, can we hover over and see if it's a second or third tier market? What was the red?
San Antonio second.
Okay.
Your second tier.
So San Antonio still is doing better than Houston.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
ranked pretty far
Yeah,
down.
that's pretty cool.
So this was one spot. So I just wanted to share this. I thought it was relevant, and I
Yeah.
think it's good news. Overall, Texas were really healthy. Being second or first, like who cares, right? Even I think Houston in the long term of things will be doing great. And then you look at Florida here, which has been on the news a lot, and they don't have any one level markets, right? I think you might have Nashville here, which has been in the news recently,
Yeah.
and not really too happy about them. And I wish they would, keep their hands to themselves. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. So, Rosie, you also had a chance to step into Austin Bergstrom Airport. Were you able to go through there easily? Was it efficient for you?
Well, considering the timing, I flew in very early in the morning. So 5 to 7 o'clock flights are the ones. 7 o'clock flight is the one that I think is more rush hour. I was very early morning, 5:30, so I didn't experience any rush. And even on my way back, getting out of the airport was pretty easy. Now, I would say this that, airport itself is expanding tremendously, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that this is the ease that is going to be on the highway to Austin for much longer, right? We already see that big jam of the traffic close to 71 when we're trying to get on the highway. But in terms of terminal in and out, I think they're going to do a great job at planning and expanding that you're not like overbooking the terminals for flight outs. So I think we're going to be fine.
No,
for the
but
terminals, but the traffic to the airport is going to be tough. Yep.
the traffic to the airport. Yeah, that's a good point. But
Yeah.
overall, in the airport, you had a pretty efficient time getting through there.
I love Boston Airport. That's still my favorite airport to get off on and to get on.
You'll be
Uh,
surprised at how many people actually travel through there daily. Austin Bergstrom experiences anywhere between 50 to 70,000 people a day.
wow.
Yeah,
Well,
and
50 to 70,000 people flying in and out. Like, let's reiterate one more time. I cannot count on my hands how many times I have met people who say they live in Austin and they work in LA. Like, any direct flights out of Austin is bringing revenue to Austin
yeah,
because people find to be a cool and more affordable city to live. Well, so far it has been compared to California still. And this year, able to tap into the opportunity to work in LA, right? Or other markets that are high paying jobs.
yeah. And so I think I got news that they're actually erecting a crane, and they're starting the construction on a whole new gate, and
Hmm.
um, it's supposed to double in size pretty soon, the Austinburg
Hmm.
Airport.
Hmm.
So I think we're at 34 gates. We'll be at 65 gates by 2040.
Hmm.
That's some good news too. And now I did share some good news with y'all. And there's a lot of companies, Rosie, that are coming into Austin. We can talk about those later. But I just quickly wanted to go over what was going on in the commercial real estate market. Would it be all right if I shared that real quick?
Yeah, please. Everybody needs commercial impacts residential if you are into multifamily. So this is a conversation to be had. So I'm interested.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Yeah, today I wanted to make sure that we actually were providing immense value, and people that are joining are actually taking time out of their day to listen to
Pull
this.
out the report on my side too.
Okay, let me see here. I'm going to share my screen. Now, I didn't send you I wonder if it'll allow me to share my, uh, are you seeing this right now?
No, I'm not seeing your shared screen.
Okay, so it's an Excel sheet. I don't know what it is. Maybe, do they allow sharing?
Yeah, you gotta click on present.
Yeah, I did that. Okay,
Maybe.
hold on. I think I'll just have to open it with slides, but just to give you guys a little bit of an idea about what we're going to go over while I'm pulling it up, is we're going to be looking at what the commercial real estate market is doing as it relates to sales volume, like how many transactions have actually occurred in the last couple of years, and why does that matter, Rosie? Why would you think that sales volume matters?
In commercial real estate?
Commercial real estate, yeah.
Well, the sales volume matters to an extent that matters in residential real estate because imagine this with the hike in interest rate, what we are experiencing is a huge decline in sales because people's affordability has gone down. So, if we can track how sales data is improving or it's compared to 2023 and 2022, we can see the confidence in the market. And also, like we just found out, VA loans, veterans, they are about to get a low interest rate loans for 40-year mortgages. Like anytime there's a disruption in the market, lenders become creative with the lending programs. So I'm excited to hear what sales data look like for commercial.
Okay, so I wish I could share the graph with y'all on exactly what's going on, but it looks like that I'm going to have to. Google Sheets doesn't want to upload it properly, so guys, we might just have to share this information with our viewers. I hate doing this because you don't know. Sometimes you don't know what technology is limiting you to. But let me try one last thing, Rosie.
Yeah, just go back to the studio and look at present screen, something like that.
No, I did that. That's not where it's stuck. Okay. Okay. No, I don't know. Anyways, let me just do a screenshot. I think that might help. If I just do a screenshot of it. And if not, then I'll just read the numbers out to you guys.
You know, Roger and I, we don't make small talk. So while he's looking it up, I have no small talk to offer.
Oh my God.
But I'll tell you this, for the person I know him to be, right now he's nerve-wracked. He's
But yeah,
like,
this
my screen is not
data.
sharing the data I collected.
Yeah. Okay. So Rosie, I think what I'm gonna have to do, I tried creating a workaround, but Google Slides. It will allow me to share a Google Slide. So what if I did this real quick? Screenshot. Okay, I think it's really valuable data and it's worth the wait. So I hope you guys will really enjoy this. Okay.
I'm having so much fun right now.
Are you seriously? Wow.
Yeah. See you troubleshoot online.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay,
You know,
look,
guys like,
I got it.
whoa, working.
Okay, let's see if we can actually zoom in here.
Okay.
So this is sales volume. This is sales volume of Austin of all property types. So we're looking at commercial, industrial, we're looking at multifamily, we're looking across all the spectrum. And so we'll see that deal volume really fell off in 2022.
Wow.
As we were mentioning, the interest rates going up is what really caused it, right?
Yeah.
And then here in 2023, we see a huge collapse, almost like
Yeah. Yeah. It's very low volume, very low sales.
yeah.
Yeah.
And banks weren't wanting to make loans, and people were nervous about buying, and the cap rates weren't making sense, and all of this stuff, right? So we had cap rate buyers that weren't moving on properties because they just didn't make sense to them. So imagine anybody that really had to sell in 2023 that
Horrible.
couldn't. How
Horrible.
long are they going to hold on to those properties for?
Yeah.
And so there were some surveys done at the early part of the year that were talking about, deal volume should tick up in 2024. So we're in May.
2024 has almost the same number of sales of 2023, and we are barely finished up till April. Like we still have 8 months left in the year.
Yeah. And
That's
so you can see market sales price. We see this sales price per square foot is going down. Here it was in 2021. And 2022, it seemed like it was already being tapered off. But then it kind of just really found more reason to go down because of interest rates, right? Market cap rates are going up.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. So if what that tells me is the only way that market cap rates can go up is if the sellers are being more realistic about price,
Yeah.
and there's like reality that's setting in, if you will. Because how else would market cap rates go up, right?
That's true. That's true.
And so market price per unit has gone down quite a bit, and this is multifamily,
Whoa.
right? And then the reason why the prices have gone down, the cap rates have gone, that's how they've gone up. So the properties are maybe still earning a good revenue for the owners, but the price is being adjusted. And so I had a few more things that I wanted to share with you. Let me see. I don't think I'm going to have this problem sharing the other slides. They're actually PDFs.
Okay.
I think this was the only problem that I was going to have with.
What surprises me is that I don't think many people know that in 2024, we are looking at same number of sales as the whole 12 months of 2023. That means when I'm looking at this data right here, look at the 2021 data. We had over 7.5, almost 8 billion sales in 2021. And in 2022, we cut it in half, right? And in 2023, we cut it into almost 1/8 of 2021. But the rate 2024 is going, I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to be 4 times 2023, which means we have recovered from 2022 and 2023. Now we're going back up again. So this
Yeah,
is a really good sign for our market this year.
I
I don't
really, yeah, I really like it.
real estate, our real estate mentors say this all the time, that real estate market takes elevator going down and escalator going up, right? So this is what escalator going up feels like, right? We have positive improvements, but to really feel it, we need that 90-day cycle at a time hitting at better data, so eventually we can show the improvement in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great. We're going to look at multifamily a little bit more closely, and this is Austin's. So I'm going to read the first paragraph on here. While demand for Austin apartments continues to improve through first quarter 24, the pace of delivered units continues to overshadow the positive momentum, increasing the market's vacancy rate to 14%, the highest in the country. And would you like for me to continue?
Well, just let's see what it means for an end consumer. That means we have delivered over 27,000 units into the market. So clearly, when we have high supply and the demand has not gone up at the same rate, the prices are just. So the rent growth of negative 5.5% basically means that we are way under on our average rent for the neighborhood or a zip code in Austin market because of the demand, because of the supply that is released into the market. 27,000 units is a lot of units.
Yeah, it's a lot of units, Rosie. And not only is it a lot of units, I just think that they went really crazy in constructing these things. And I guess, once you have the blueprints ready and you're breaking ground, then nobody wants to stop the project right in the middle.
Yep.
And it feels
So
like
they borrowed money, they have vendors to pay, the land is done, like they have a commitment.
they have a
So
commitment.
they are gonna, the permits are being pulled. So anything that's in pipeline has to be built.
Yeah. So look, if you are owning a rental property and you have tenants in there, it might be a good time to be nice to them, play ball, and because that right now, as this report, if we were to read into it, it's a renters market right now.
Renters market, yeah, not that.
And so as I scroll down, Rosie, it's going to talk about the average rent. So asking rent for 4 or 5-star properties is still, $1,700.
Yeah.
And let me show you this. This is very fascinating to me. So this is absorption and net deliveries. This is vacancies and where they're going to actually expect to see stabilized vacancy. And so we're not seeing.
Wow, we're not looking at a stabilized vacancy. Wow, 2027 almost.
Until after
So basically, what we're saying is that, hey, hold your horses until 2027, right?
Yeah.
This is where people give up too quickly. I've realized that over and over again. They freak out so quickly. So many people out there, when they're looking to the tip of their nose and they don't have that long-term vision. They look at the current day and current month and current week and say, oh my God, my investment is not making sense.
Yeah. Now,
who in real estate ever said, I want to know, who is the investor who said, oh my gosh, my investments were green all the way? I mean, can we talk about one of our investor friends that we meet every week? He said he bought a property for $250,000 and it was almost negative forever. And he said, is this property ever going to make me money? And 10 years later, he sold the property for $850,000.
Yeah.
So had he given up during those times,
and at that time it was a $300,000 property.
Yeah, 250 to 300, something like that, right? So
That,
in 10 years, you are almost four timing your investment.
yeah. Mhm.
So it's okay. Be patient, look at the long term.
Yeah. So, Rosie, I wanted to share the same. I wanted to share one more aspect of commercial real estate with you,
Mhm.
and so we're looking at multifamily. What is the renters and landlords experiencing? But we also need to look at what are buyers and sellers of multifamily experiencing.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of this information is pretty much similar across all markets. So we're seeing Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio have the same struggle. I think that Houston has been a little bit more conservative in their construction, and they're probably going to weather it just a little bit more. And that's not really true either because we're all feeding off each other,
Yeah,
right?
we are. Yeah. Huh?
So I would hate to set the expectation that Houston's doing any better, but when you look at the numbers, I think they're just relatively a little bit better, little tiny bit better than all the other metros, but pretty much similar. Okay. Um, so if we look at price, market sales price has corrected by 10% year over year,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So that means what we're seeing is that's a discount. There's properties that have sold at a discount,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so there's a correction in price being made. That's why we saw the cap rates increasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So for listeners who are looking at cap rate simply means the net operating income divided by your sales price. So if the sales prices are going down for people, then the cap rate is going up.
that's a measurement of value.
Measurement of value. So look at the cap rate as if, okay, if the cap rates are sustaining, it means people are adjusting the expectations for a better pricing to be sold. They're not riding a high horse anymore. What I'm really trying to say.
Yeah, and look, cap rates on the second bar right here. They're
Yeah. Yeah.
at this right. If you look right down the middle, this is their 10-year average. Our
Yeah.
cap rates are at the highest side, at the high side of the equation, right? I
Yeah.
think they go over, yeah, 5.38%. So they're at the end of that spectrum there.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
sales volume is extremely to the left. It's off of the graph, right? So we've not experienced this low of sales volume since the past 10 years.
Raja, can you zoom in, like make it 150% maybe so it's readable?
Can you see it?
Yeah, now it's better.
And
Wow.
I was just sharing this with you, Rosie, because I thought maybe you would catch something on here. But occupancy rates are at 85%, which is the lowest they've been in 10 years. Right. I didn't know if anything maybe will stand out to you. Um, absorption rate is pretty high. We're still absorbing a lot of units.
Yeah, that's what they're saying in our investor calls that, hey, absorption rate is high, so still buy properties because it's going to catch up.
Now, see, this is look at our delivery. Our delivered units are 26,000 delivered units.
Yep.
That's more than that's 10,000,
Look
11.
at this. If we are delivering 26,000, we're absorbing 11,000 as well.
Mhm. So I don't know if that
That's
tells.
pretty, yeah, that's a pretty solid absorption, even in today's market. And sometimes absorption looks low because we have so many units to be released into the market.
So Rosie, we have friends that have actually transacted hundreds of $1 million in real estate. And this is a conversation we've already had with them while we were in Dallas, and they didn't seem to really express too much uncertainty or fear.
Yeah, they said our absorption rate is way too high for us to be concerned about multi units being overbuilt because of the job growth in general,
Mhm.
and how many people are moving in, and also what they have really in pipeline. It's not they have 100,000 units; it's only 26,000 compared to all the jobs that are coming to Austin area.
Yeah. And I would also love to share this data with all our viewers. I'm gonna actually, I think it was the other page, this one here. I think this is really worth a read. So we're gonna share it with our viewers, and so that they could see what the units and what they're actually doing, how many units to come on, so you can really conceptualize it,
Mhm.
and how many have been absorbed. And all of this has happened rather just recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like a turn of events, right? So I
Hmm.
think in 2023 right here is when we really starting to see a shift in the market.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, Rosie, just on a closing note, uh, there's some asset classes that are performing really well. So I'll tell you which asset class is performing really extraordinarily well is the retail commercial real estate because why it's performing well is because when things went online and everybody started shopping on Amazon, um, a lot of retail wasn't being constructed anymore.
Okay.
They had stopped construction on
So
retail,
it's all supply and demand, period.
and so they're expecting the same thing to happen with the office space. Uh,
Yeah.
Office vacancies are really high, but again, you don't see very many people building office space, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever we stop building, tightens the supply of it.
Bingo.
So yeah, basically it's very simple, supply and demand. So if they stop building homes, home prices will start going up because the inventory is tightened. Retail stop getting built, they're doing really well now because there's no overbuilt of it. Apartment and multi units are doing bad right now because there is a 26,000 units being released into the market, right?
Yeah.
So I would say think long term. If you're able to buy an investment and sustain it for at least 5 to 10 years, you are gonna outperform stock market every single time.
And the markets we're seeing which are performing better than others are like the tinier markets where there was maybe less construction.
Third tier, yeah, third tier or second tier, yeah.
Like, for instance, a lot of properties being released into Waco, and
Not at all.
not a lot of properties being released in the College Station. Although College Station numbers looked a little bit better 6 months ago, and now I'm tracking them, and they're kind of
Yeah.
they're
So one thing I do want to iterate for all our investors right now in market is that if you are acquiring real estate and you are putting it on the market for rent, this is not the market you want to try higher prices. You're going to lose a tenant to a neighboring property overnight. And you're going to look back and say, "Oh my gosh, I wish I did not try a higher price and I could have rented it." Make your property desirable. Look at your competition, stay 2 steps ahead of them, and be competitive in your pricing and capture that tenant quickly. And just remember, you're playing a long term game. As long as you guys are keeping that forefront of your mind and you're not fooling yourself with, let me test the market. This is not test time. This is
yeah,
the
don't
time to
look over
perform.
nickels to let
Yeah.
them go. Yeah,
Don't
don't
trip off,
look over dollars to pick
trip
up.
over pennies.
No,
What is
don't
it?
look over a
Trip
dollar.
over dollars
Oh
to
yeah,
have pennies. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we delivered around 33 minutes of heightened knowledge about what's going on with multifamily, how the job growth is impacting. And guys, these little news like Tesla laid off this many, that many. Compare. Tesla had created 84% employment in 1 year. Like, of course, when you overperform, a little performance decline is not doesn't mean doom and gloom. It means it's just adjustment in the market. And Tesla is not the only employer in all of Austin.
No, it's not. And,
Yeah.
and Rosie, there's a lot of companies that are coming into Austin because
Yeah.
Tesla's here. And but before we go, I wanted to say a couple of things, Rosie, and that is that who are we doing this show for? I'll tell
Yeah.
you who we're doing this show for. First and foremost, of course, we're doing it for our clients and people that are working with us. But more so, however, we're also doing it for people who are investing in real estate and don't have a place to go to.
Yeah.
Because when I want good information, it's very hard for me to go gather this data,
Yeah.
and I'm looking everywhere for it, right? It's just not there. So I wanted to do this for other like-minded individuals who are investors. And lastly, I wanted to do it for our peers. And
Yeah.
so if you're a real estate professional and you're watching this, give
Give
us
us feedback, give your insight. Like, we want to hear what you're experiencing. And maybe if you're able to use this information in any good way, return back and share with us.
because the
Ooh,
more competent people we are in the marketplace, and when there's other agents sitting across from us and they know exactly what's happening and they can coach their clients through it, I believe in a win-win situation.
100%.
And
100%.
so before we go, this is the stuff that I think makes Austin exciting, and I'm seeing stuff like this come up all across the state. This is really interesting. It's Meow Wolf co-founded and opened $15 million immersive spa in Austin. It's an immersive spa. And look
Wow.
here, like this is crazy. They're
Wow.
expected to attract 200,000 people annually with a ticket price of $88 per person. So
Wow. What a gorgeous thing to be coming to Austin. I love it.
I
Hey,
think
you know
we're
what?
actually doing more and more fun things to do.
I
And
think Austin, yeah, lifestyle in Austin is getting built now. Like we have been living in the city for over 15 years. I think I have seen more cooler things show up now than I saw 10 years ago. 10
and
years we were building homes.
not
Now we're
just
building lifestyle.
not just Austin, it's going to be all across the state. We're seeing stuff like this happen
Yeah.
in Dallas. We're
Yeah.
getting new music venues and
Yep.
that sort of thing. So I think entertainment and a really quality of life is what I'm seeing a lot of construction projects being focused around.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think it's a shift in conventional commercial real estate. We're
100%
thinking outside the box.
Perfect. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for doing the work you do every week, Roger. So excited to bring new data. We have started our May numbers already. It's the beginning of the month. And we'll bring market update next week. And we'll also bring in some cool opportunities to invest, how to double or triple your gains in today's market and look back and say, you know what? You did a great job making a
Well,
decision.
staying true to this, when we're playing Monopoly, Rosie, I had chosen to call the episode "Playing Monopoly in Real Life,"
Yeah.
how to 10x our investment. So, I think the way that we would play Monopoly is if we were both sitting across from each other, I would be buying up the pieces that I felt like I could win with.
Yeah.
And so, if we keep that perspective in mind,
Yeah.
as Rosie said, it's a long-term game. Focus on the appreciation in real estate.
Yeah.
Buy up more of your pieces, and you can
Yeah.
10x.
Yeah. And position yourself right in the right zip codes.
Absolutely. So with that, anything else you want to add? Oh, one last thing. Guys, please, if you haven't already, it doesn't matter if you're an agent, investor, or you're a client. If you are not on our email list, sign up now, because I want to share with you all of the insights of what's going on in the industry, and so that you're better aware and you can make great, powerful decisions with your clients. And because it's, after all, we got to work together to make this really pop. So we appreciate you listening in today, and I guess we're ready to rock and roll, Rosie.
All right. Awesome. See y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.